However, we've got massive breaking news, which is going to take precedent over everything, because Frank Lampard is set to lose his job as the head coach at Chelsea. Now, confirmation is expected later today, all right, but we believe that this is happening right now and confirmation will come. Now, who will replace him? Already there is a name lined up, because according to our colleagues at Sky in Germany, Thomas Tuchel, the former Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund manager, is set to be his replacement. That's according to Sky in Germany. All right, we need to get some instant reaction to this. Ade and Dave, we know he's been under pressure, but we weren't expecting this morning, Dave.
Well, yes, Frank Lampard has been under severe pressure. There's been high-profile defeats very recently. You look at the defeat to Leicester, where they were beaten 2-0 last Tuesday. They were also beaten at home by Manchester City. They were beaten at the Emirates as well by Arsenal, and the pressure has been ramping up on Frank Lampard. Jeff Shreves, I think, asked Lampard directly about his future following that defeat at Leicester the other night. He said, you know, I'm not stupid. I know the pressures that come with managing a top football club, but I only do my job. It doesn't matter to me. That has been a consistent theme during Frank Lampard's time in charge at Chelsea. There have been questions over the pressure involved in managing Chelsea, and all the time Frank Lampard has said, it is something I expect in a job like this. It is the pressure that I expect to be managing Chelsea Football Club. It's no added and it's no less pressure for me being involved as a manager, having had such an illustrious career at Chelsea as a player. He's also spoken as well about when he was a player at Chelsea and then moving into management. He was fully aware that perhaps his playing days, he didn't want to use the word tainted, but that was what he was getting at, really, you know, how successful his playing career was. It's a risk for him to then go in as manager of Chelsea. But it seems now then that despite the 3-1 victory over Luton in the FA Cup over the weekend has not been enough for Frank Lampard to save his job. Chelsea at the moment in the Premier League haven't had the best of starts to the season, have they? And there's been question marks over how the signings have fitted in. Chelsea in 9th position, and as it stands, 5 points off those top 4 positions. And you think
that's not a lot, though, is it? Is that a lot? 5 points off Liverpool?
See, 9th doesn't sound great.
9th doesn't sound great, but it has
just 5 points from the top 4. That doesn't sound that bad to me.
It doesn't. It's been a crazy season for everyone, I think, in the Premier League so far. Every manager, probably unnamed Dean Smith, has been under some sort of pressure. Look, he understood the role. I always thought, could Frank have credit in the bank just because of that playing career with Chelsea? We know what Chelsea are like when it comes to dismissing managers. There's been a long list of managers that have probably left for doing a lot more than Frank has done. So I am slightly surprised. Look, they've given him a lot of money to spend. I think it takes time to integrate those players into the squad. We always talk about the Premier League being the hardest league in the world, but then we expect players to come over and simply just jump in and deliver straight away. Yes, I expected a bit more from the likes of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, but those players need time. And I would have thought that Frank needed time as well to get his best 11 on the pitch and know what his best 11 is. I think Ben Chilwell's been a fantastic signing. I think Thiago Silva has been a good signing as well. I'm slightly surprised by it. I have to be honest with you, I'm slightly surprised. I thought he would have been given a bit more time. Again, considering when you look at the table, only been 5 points behind the reigning champions. Let's not forget Liverpool.
Yeah, he did get a lot of praise last season, though, Dave. Strangely, when he wasn't able to go into the transfer market.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he was appointed as Chelsea head coach, he was given a 3-year contract, and he'd only had 1 full season in management at Derby before that. He said on his appointment, I'm immensely proud. He said, everyone knows my love for this club and the history we've shared, but he said, my sole focus is on the job in hand and preparing for the season ahead. And that season ahead was going to be during a transfer ban, so he was unable to bring in any players. Couple that with the fact that Chelsea lost Eden Hazard to Real Madrid, who was no doubt their most influential player for Chelsea at that time, and Lampard's job was very much praised for managing to get Chelsea into the top 4 positions. And then let's not forget as well, things started okay as well for Lampard this season. They were successful in the Champions League, but it's those recent results which has led Roman Abramovich and Marina Granovskaya as well to take this decision. And it just shows how ruthless Chelsea are. We know, we've talked about it before, how ruthless Chelsea are when it comes to their managers. This has not been a sentimental decision by Roman Abramovich and Marina Granovskaya. They have looked at the cold, hard facts of what has happened recently, and they have decided that Frank Lampard isn't the man to take them forward.
They finished fourth last season, 66 points. They were 4 points clear of Leicester, who were fifth in the end. But Ade, what we're hearing, I'll look at the signings that they've made in the summer. A lot of money spent there, and it is Lampard maybe getting punished for the fact that they haven't settled in as quickly as you would have liked. Yeah,
you look at those signings, you have to ask yourself which ones have actually worked. Timo Werner clearly hasn't worked. Kai Havertz hasn't worked at all, and we haven't really seen too much of Ziyech, so it's difficult to really judge him.
He's been good when he's played, though, hasn't he?
When he's played, he looks fantastic, but we haven't seen enough of him. I think Frank, it doesn't help him that he's changed and swatched that side so many times. He's tried different formations. We spoke here about Fikayo Tomori. He's tried different centre-backs. He's tried everything to try and get things worked, and they just haven't. But again, we're talking 6 defeats in the Premier League. Yes, it sounds a lot, and Chelsea are ninth, but again, you have to look at the league table to realise it really is a strange season. And I know people like to throw that around and band it around a lot, but it really is a strange season. So I'll go back to saying I am surprised. You don't give someone 220 plus million to spend and then don't give him time to really make sure that team gels. I think you've got to wait until the end of season and see where he is.